I recently asked the administrator of one of my clients, a growing multi-site, multi-specialty medical group in a rural area, to describe the biggest change she'd like to see in the performance of her managers. She reacted right away. "Joe," she said, "I've got too many Eeyores. I need more Tiggers." She went on to lament the lack of enthusiasm several of her managers bring to their interactions with staff. She said, "I'm not saying I need them to be full-time cheerleaders, but this is hard work. It's necessary every once in a while, you know?" That's why in this episode of Your Practice Ain't Perfect, I'll help you answer the question, hey manager, are you a Tigger or an Eeyore? Stay tuned. First, let's get clear about our Tigger and Eeyore analogy. I know that in the Winnie the Pooh stories, Eeyore is there to help kids understand that it's okay to be sad and gray sometimes. And Tigger is there to remind us that being bouncy and wild all the time can actually do harm. The same is true for managers. Being honest with your team about problems and concerns is healthy. Being nonstop perky like Tigger no matter what else is happening, that would be obnoxious. But as a manager, the attitude you bring to the workplace shapes almost everything your employees think about where they work and what they do there. In other words, your energy shapes their outlook. That's why when it comes to leading teams, we tend to need more Tiggers and fewer Eeyores. So a few questions. When change is implemented, do you go to your team and explain why the change is positive? Do you explain how it might benefit the team or the organization or the patients you serve? That's what Tiggers do. If you announce the change and then respond to questions about why it's happening by saying, well, administration is making us do this, you're doing your team a disservice, Eeyore. They'll never buy in. They'll never give you full effort. When the reason given is administration is making us do this, you've virtually guaranteed that your team is going to give you a minimal effort at best. Here's another one. If something occurs that is going to make their jobs harder, even just temporarily, do you acknowledge that truth, then start exploring how you can all get through it together? The most effective leaders cultivate a can-do attitude on their teams. They say, yeah, this might stink for a while, but we're going to make the best of it. Let's talk about how. If you let your team dwell on the difficulty ahead, or leave them to find solutions on their own, or allow complaining and griping to consume the team throughout the change, you're setting them up to fail. Lastly, do you seek out opportunities to inject humor, camaraderie, and recognition into the workplace? The most effective managers try to find the fun at work. They bring people together, keep things light at times, and go out of their way to point out how people's contributions truly matter. If you're all business all the time, if you rarely make time for team fun, for social interaction, or for celebrating the differences your team members make in the lives of others, there's a good chance your morale on that team is suffering. What we're talking about here is framing and mindset. So managers, smile, laugh, say, we can do it. Say, come on team. Say, you guys rock. Say, we're all in this together. Find ways to dial up your Tigger wherever possible. Remember the old adage, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you'll be right. You'll also determine that for others if you're the person in charge. Hey, before you go, why don't you share this video on LinkedIn? That's what Tiggers would do. See you next time.